What's going on, guys? It's Colin, and I'm going to try and do just a quick little motovlog here, sort of as a test, and see how it turns out, because some of these clouds today look a little bit threatening. That's okay. I do have my my rain gear on the bike. Oh, missed that butterfly. Live to see another day. Not too bad. Anyway, so my previous motovlog, which is not really all that great, I was rocking the GoPro down on my chest, and so you couldn't see my head movement. So I don't know if that made the motovlog footage less immersive or what. And this is like my fourth attempt, maybe my fifth, to make another motovlog this season, but I keep having issues with my GoPro. And I believe that I've determined the issue to be that the SD card that I had installed was not recommended. So I wound up buying like a Kingston SD card, which seems to work well for everything else, but the GoPro would randomly just kind of cut out and stop recording. Now, that's not such a bad thing, because let me focus here for a second. Anyway, it's not such a bad thing, because GoPro footage kind of rolls over every, I don't know, I'm going to say 10, 12 minutes or so. So you would think that if the camera stopped recording, that the video files already written would still be there, so that you only lose the last 10 minutes of your ride. But that is not the case. GoPro have apparently implemented a feature that if the recording stops, it goes back and it blows away everything in that recording session. So, as a result, I lost all my footage. And I wound up with like 4 or 5 commentary-only files on my phone. But anyway, that is all good. I have a new SD card, and I've talked about this for too long, and hopefully that is now sorted out. And so if you're seeing this video, you can draw the conclusion that I have fixed my problem. And hopefully that will mean a few more motovlogs. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of commentate in and out. I'm just going for a ride. I'll edit things after the fact so that you're not bored. You've seen this stretch of road numerous times this year and last year. I'll show you some of the bullshit that I'm dealing with construction, though. I'm going to talk about that at length. But anyway, there are like 2 or 3 spots on this road, which is really the only feasible way for me to get into town on any given day. And at rush hour, it is absolutely a nightmare. I have an alternate cross-country route that I can take, and it takes me about an hour to get into town. Moving, you know, it's like 85 kilometers. A lot of it's back roads, so, you know, you're not doing highway speeds. Alright, this is stop number 1. So yeah, the alternate route takes about an hour, and you can't go too fast. The issue is that the last time that I rode that to work, unfortunately, they had the paving crews out ripping up that pavement. So my brilliant plan was foiled. But I think we're going to take just a little rip up the Nashwauk River and back, and I'm just going to keep checking to see if I'm recording the whole time. So how's everyone's summer going now? I'm actually on vacation this week, and I don't have any music gigs booked this weekend or next weekend. Last weekend, my sister and I, with the acoustic duo, we went and played a little fair down in Renforth, New Brunswick, which is between St. John and the Rossay-Quispamsis area, right along the river. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great venue to play. The weather was perfect. It was like mid-20s, nice breeze. and we were singing right on the water. And so from where we were at, you're kind of looking out at the river. And now it was a family fun day sort of affair. So there were a lot of little kids there. We had to edit our set list somewhat. Normally we play to pubs and whatnot, so if the subject matter is a little dark or heavy, or some of the lyrics aren't, PG, it's no big deal. But as we pulled up to this festival and we were waiting for our turn to go on, it's like, you know what? Why don't we take the red marker to the set list? And so we did. We had a good time. And by and large, we were entertaining the parents who were waiting in line with their children in order to have balloon animals made by the magician that had been hired to perform at the event as well. And then from there, we left St. John and drove up through past Fredericton, and we went up to pretty close to Stanley, New Brunswick, a little place called Tay Creek, to the Tay Creek Folk Festival, which is on a beautiful property. The main stage is inside a barn, but it's not a barn with 4 walls, if you will. It's a barn with 3 walls, and one side is open to a little field, pasture, if you will. So it was a really cool venue, and the folks there are wonderful music fans. I'm actually going to cut this off, this train of thought, and I'm going to come back in a few minutes once I get through this boring stretch of road. Alright, so where I'm at right now, usually traffic is lined up way up the hill I just came down, and you basically sit here, and the construction is taking place within the city limits of Fredericton. Most of the people, however, impacted live outside the city. So it would appear that being super efficient and minimizing the inconvenience to residents of the outlying areas is not a priority. In fact, they don't really seem to give much of a shit. Now today, this is wide open. It doesn't look it from here, but it is actually 2-lane traffic. During the day, when the construction crews are out, they have flag people up controlling the traffic so that it's only open to 1 lane, 1 direction at a time. And as you can see up ahead, and it probably looks smaller in the GoPro, there's a set of traffic lights sitting about 30 to 50 meters beyond the construction. And the flag people aren't coordinating with the traffic lights. So as a result, it actually screws things up in all directions. It's a thing of beauty. I think the only way that it could be worse is if they didn't put flag people in at all and just let this be a big free-for-all, which would be entertaining. But anyway, that is this stretch right here. I mean, that's the only way for me to go anywhere effectively from my home without going across country. So I'm either dealing with traffic or I'm an hour from anything. Alright, I'm going to go right here, but I'm not cutting through that. I love gravel. On a motorcycle, few things are more exciting to see than gravel. And by exciting, I mean that your knuckles go white and your arsehole puckers, and it's scary as shit if you're at speed. But be careful. For those of you familiar with the Fredericton area, we're going to head out the Killarney Road. And then we're going to ride back in down Nashwater. So stay tuned for that. Alright. So we're starting to get into slightly more interesting territory. And if I continue a train of thought, I just want you to know that like 20 minutes or so have elapsed since I was last sort of speaking and saying anything interesting. So yeah, we're going to head down the hill here. I'm on the Killarney Road outside of Fredericton, and we're going to ride back in down along the river. Just getting out for a little a quick rip. My wife has a roller derby game this evening, so she's going to be taken off to that probably around 4:30. I will be with the kids, although we're going to go spectate the game. We don't need to go nearly as early as she does as a player. And team captain, actually. But I think I was talking about the Take Creek Folk Festival, and I'm going to edit this video, and I'm going to sound ridiculous because it'll appear to you as though I can't remember what I was saying 10 seconds ago, when in reality, as I said, it's more like 20 minutes, so give me a break. There is some nice scenery out here. We're kind of up on a hill and overlooking the river valley, the Nashwauk River Valley. I like this ride. It's a quick one. Always good to clear the head, and I'm feeling very relaxed today, very chill. And that's just a function of having been able to take a bit of a rest from music this weekend, getting a good night's sleep, being out on the bike. It's not too hot. It's just a nice day all around. Life is good. Holy crap, traffic jam. You don't see that very often out in these parts. Anyhow. So yeah, Take Creek Folk Festival. Great festival. Wonderful location. Could certainly use to be better attended. Although apparently this is like the 10th year and it's been steadily and slowly growing. But I feel like that festival could probably quadruple in size and accommodate everyone quite handily. I'm also trying not to talk as loud. When I can't hear myself, I have the tendency to talk too loud, which then overloads the microphone that I've tucked in my helmet, which makes for shitty audio. But I post it anyway, that's what I do. It takes so many tries to get one of these videos that if just one little thing is just a little bit off, I'm going to post it anyway because I'm not a professional YouTuber, I'm not a professional motovlogger. So, yeah, I apologize for not always giving you guys top-notch quality, but it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, I'm on vacation this week, hanging out with the family. Probably spend a bit of time in Prince Edward Island, swim in the ocean, eat some good food, relax even further. I'm already pretty relaxed, which is a good way to head into a vacation. It's going to be a good week. And I'm back at it with the music, so we've got gigs lined up the weeks following with the acoustic duo, Creating Differences. And we're in the process actually of having a new guitar player. He came over this week and started tracking some of his guitar parts that he's going to add to our EP. So that's moving along. And his playing is fantastic. I think I talked about it a little bit before, but he plays a lot of jazz. So when you bring him into like a rock, sort of blues rock environment, he adds just wonderful flavors that are just outside the box. But I'm not going to dwell too much on that because I think I've talked about it before. Last couple of nights, I actually went out and checked out some live music that was coming through town. There's a promotion company, if you will. It's one guy. It's a good friend of mine by the name of Eddie Young, and he's running an outfit called Roots and Soul Music Promotions. And in a previous video, it might have even been last year, I talked about playing in the Living Roots Music Festival. I did that last year and this year. It's a great festival. Intimate venues, a lot of rootsy type music, but you know, a wide variety of acts and just super high quality. And the cool thing is that you get to, you know, really meet and hang out with the artists. So if you're just a listener yourself, then that's a great experience. Well, for me as a music listener and a music fan, it's a great experience. You know, get to sit down and have the beverage of your choice or a bite to eat with artists that you really dig. And as an artist, it's awesome too. You know, you have a dedicated listening crowd who are there to see you play and to check out your music, which isn't the norm for a lot of the gigs that I play. You know, I play a lot of pubs and restaurants, and there are times when, honestly, to the patrons, live music is an inconvenience, because apparently they can't hear themselves think enough to like sit there and text instead of their phones. But it's true, man. So many people coming in, sitting in the restaurant, sitting across the table from somebody else, with somebody else, and just texting and asking us to turn it down. And it's kind of a bummer, but you know, every gig is a gig, and there's always at least one person in the crowd that's really into it. They'll come up and talk to you afterwards and they appreciate what you do, and that makes you feel good. It only takes one, and every gig's important because you never know who's out there that you're playing for, potentially. So we always try to give it our all and mix it up and keep ourselves amused in the event that the crowd isn't giving us any energy, or, you know, if I'm solo isn't giving me any energy. But supporting live, give me a second. I think it's important to support live local music. A lot of folks will spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go, you know, to a stadium show and then sit hundreds of meters away from the performers and just be jammed into this mass of humanity. And the lines, lineups to take a piss, line up to get in the door in the first place, line up for concessions, line up for merch, which is cool, man, because, you know, I did go see Tour earlier this year in that environment, and it was worth it. I saw Pearl Jam last year in that environment. It was worth it. But, you know, for every one of those big shows I go to like 20 or so of the smaller ones, and honestly, you know, some of the best nights are at small live local shows. So check out your local scene. I encourage you. I'm not going to preach. I don't need preaching. Stop being preachy to sound like a dick, an entitled dick. And that's not how I want to come across. But you know, if you dig music, then you know, go check out live local shows. If you're not into buying CDs, because let's be honest, you know, unless you get it signed, you buy a CD as a keepsake. You know, pick up a piece of merch, get a t-shirt or something, and help them buy a tank of gas to get to the next town. A band that I saw last night did some poor planning, and for those of you who have your globe handy, they came from Montreal Friday morning, and they arrived in Fredericton. They played their gig Friday evening in Fredericton, and then they were booked to play a festival tonight in Ottawa. Okay? But then the kicker is that tomorrow they're coming back to Moncton, New Brunswick. So for those of you that don't have your globe handy, that means that they drove about 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours from Montreal to Fredericton. Then they have to drive 10 hours back to Ottawa, and then it's going to be about 12 hours, almost 12 hours, from Ottawa to Moncton. And that's dedication. And so yeah, and it was an awesome show. It was awesome. It was the band was called Soggy Beard. They had an opener who's from St. John by the name of Jamie Comeau, and both acts were fantastic. Jamie himself is sort of a blues rock kind of guy. I'm going to say he's in his early to mid-20s, and this gig was the first time he busted out an electric guitar. But he also plays like a kick drum and tambourine or foot pedals while he plays guitar and sings, and it was great. And Soggy Beard kind of billed themselves as punk folk or folk punk, and you know, the storytelling in between the songs was hilarious, self-deprecating. The music was tight. Anyway, it was just a great experience, and these guys are making no money, relatively speaking, right? So every little bit counts. So yeah, if you're truly a music fan, then You know, don't just sit home all the time and listen to Spotify, although I do that too, and that can be a good time. But yeah, go check out a local show or two, and leave a comment. Do you go to live local music? And if you do, awesome. And if you don't, how come? And if you don't like music, then that's cool. I don't know what the world ever did to you and why you don't have a soul, but I guess it is what it is, right? Alright, that was judgy. I'm not wrong, though. I'm not wrong. So yeah, I want to, give a shout out to Roots and Soul Music Productions. I'm going to put some links down in the description relevant to the things I talk about in this video and the things that I talk about in future videos. So if something sounds interesting, it's probably a link you can go check out. Another YouTube channel to check out, something. And yesterday, Bandcamp was donating a portion, actually I think 100% of Bandcamp's share of all music sales was going to a campaign. I guess their awareness campaign failed because I don't remember off the top of my head what the campaign was about. But I remember thinking that it was a decent cause. So yeah, I went and I had a PayPal balance. I do receive some royalties now for my music. I mean, I only have a single EP out there, but one of my tunes, Dad Life, for whatever reason, I got like $75 in royalties deposited into my PayPal account from the UK. So, and it was from last year. So somebody was giving a couple of my tunes some serious airtime for me to make those kinds of royalties. So I really appreciate that. I wish I knew who was doing it so that I could thank them profusely. But I guess the moral of the story is that when I receive money for my music, because I have a day job, right, and I'm not doing this full time, day job pays the bills, and music is some supplemental income and keeps me sane. But I take that money and I reinvest it back into other bands that I see, that I dig on Bandcamp, typically. Sometimes I use Google Play Music and all that, but because I don't have an iPhone anymore, so it's Google Play. But I don't know, Bandcamp just seems a little bit more personal. So that is how I do it. All right here, dude. Anyway, we're coming back into beautiful Marysville, New Brunswick. Marysville Place, the old cotton mill. We've been through here before in previous vlogs. Community garden. I don't see the motorcycle course out. Oh, it's a holiday weekend. Right. Monday is a civic holiday here in New Brunswick and other provinces. So it's a long weekend. Anyway, so I think the last thing, because I'm sure I've rambled and talked enough crap. The last thing I want to talk about is local indie radio, and give a huge heartfelt shout out to the local station here in Fredericton called CHSR FM. They're wonderful people, and they support the local scene. They support indie bands from all over the country, and just fantastic. And that's pretty much all I listen to for radio. I'm in Canada, so we have the CBC, which is sort of your public broadcasting. Occasionally I will tune into the CBC, but it would seem that my prime listening times, one of the shows that seems to pop up is like a phone-in show for gardening tips, and that is not of a whole lot of use to me. If I can't nail it with my ride-on lawnmower, then I'm not interested in it growing in my yard. And my father-in-law is an avid gardener and has done some lovely work in my yard, right in the path of a fucking lawnmower. I should be grateful. But It's such a first world problem, isn't it? My father-in-law planted some lovely flowers that my daughters love, but it's right in the middle of my lawnmower path. You know that life is good when that's the thing that you have to sort of reach for to bitch about. So I guess, in conclusion, life is really good at this point. It has been for a while. There will be some links in the description, links to some music productions, to the Bandcamp of the bands that I checked out the last couple of nights that I really dug. You can check out CHSR. Here in Fredericton, they're on the FM dial, 97.9, but there's this marvelous technological advancement called the Internet, and via the Internet you can actually go and live stream. They live stream 24/7 off CHSR, and so they've actually played a bunch of iTunes and others. Yeah, it's going to shift. Some of the collaboration that I've done with my buddy Peter over in Amsterdam, that's actually been on CHSR, and he's been able to tune in from there to check it out. And you know, if you want to go on the morning show to promote something, they're always a text message or a tweet away, and they'll support you, and it's just wonderful. They have a Patreon account. I think I'll link to their Patreon as well. And I understand that if you're going to give your money to things, then there are worthy charitable causes. You know, legit sick kids, people without water, refugees, families torn apart, all that kind of stuff. So, and money is precious, and so it's difficult to make these types of decisions around what you support. But I assure you that I do give to other types of charity whenever possible. But given that music's my thing, and that I want to see a healthy and thriving community, you know, I support the scene as much as I can. I buy the music as much as I can. I go to the shows as much as I can. And yeah, I just feel good. You know, I did some shopping today, and I'm not proud to admit it, but I went to Walmart because I needed, well, it's going to be too much information. I just needed some plain black t-shirts and some boxer shorts and those sorts of things. And it's easy to get that stuff at Walmart. I also had to exchange some SodaStream cylinders because one of the things that I've tried to do is I'm trying to slim down, take better care of myself, be more healthy. I used to smoke cigarettes, actually, up till, you know, fun fact, I was like a closet smoker when I was doing the whole YouTube thing, and I don't do that anymore. It's been 2 years since I had a cigarette. And, you know, I'll sit around and just used to sip on a lot of rum and Diet Cola, not for the purpose of getting drunk, just because I like the taste. And it just kind of gave me something to do while I was like editing a video or listening to an album or whatever. Come on now, you got this, Ford Focus, a peace sign. So, yeah, I got myself a SodaStream, and I make myself fizzy water all the time. That sounds super pretentious. Like, I'm kind of a little annoyed with myself, listening to myself talk about it right now, but it's true. And so that's helped me, you know, cut down on the alcohols, which is helping my waistline. And of course, when you quit smoking, you're very likely to gain a few pounds. So I had lost some, but not all of my pregnancy weight from my second daughter. And then, you know, when I finally managed to quit smoking for the last time, hopefully, so I've quit many times. But yeah, so, you know, I gained a few pounds that I'm trying to take back off, and, you know, I'm playing a lot of music. I want my endurance up. I want to be able to stand for all my shows. Unless it's arguably, you know, a 3-hour acoustic show, I'm going to sit down. But anything 2 hours or less, 2 sets or less, I want to be able to stand up. It helps me sing, helps me sort of deliver more energy into the performance, gets me more into it. I like it that way, but it can be hard on the back and the feet. So, yeah, I'm just trying to, and I'll obviously, you know, look out for my own longevity, because I have kids, and I want to be healthy and long as I can to torment the shit out of my daughters until they are parents themselves, so that I can just watch them deal with their own kids and laugh. Obviously, and spend time with my grandkids as well, but see their kids take the piss out of them like ours have with us, and just revel in it, really. Looks like the camera's still rolling, so we might have a success here, which is cool. And I've talked a lot of shit about a lot of different stuff. And so if you have a topic that you would like me to focus on, leave a comment down below, and I will consider any and all topics of conversation, and I'll put out another video here soon. I won't be uploading anything in the next week because I'll be away for part of it, but yeah, we'll make some, might even create sort of a backlog of content to upload. So yeah, let me know what you want to hear me talk about. Since I've been away from things for so long, do you actually give a shit what I think about something in particular, anything in particular? And I'll talk about it. Woo! Anyway, we're getting back into this traffic light, so I'm going to sign off here, guys. Thanks as always for listening and for watching, and for continuing to support what I do. Most frequently asked question right now is more Battlefield videos, and the answer to that is no. So if gaming only is your thing, then no. I'm going to do some guitar stuff, music stuff, motorcycle stuff, real life stuff. Basically, the things that I do right now, myself in real life, that I enjoy. I'm going to share them with you. But I don't do the gaming thing anymore. And that's not to say that I'll never play video games again. I will, because they're fun. But I haven't for a while, and I won't for a while, because I just have other things to do with my time. So yeah, there won't be any more of that. I do still occasionally keep in touch with the Deeker guys. They're still all alive and well, and keeping in touch, just not in the public YouTube eye, and still all avid gamers and all of that. So those are kind of the FAQs that I get, like the two most frequently asked questions. So yeah, those are the answers. It's been a slice. I hope you have a fantastic week until we talk again. Cheers, guys. I screwed up my outro, because usually don't I sign off the videos with cheers, guys, we'll talk soon. So cheers, guys, we'll talk soon.